Good afternoon. We welcome you to Racing with Faith. I've been asked to introduce and have prayer, and what I told them is that I have a song that if I had met them in the midst of the race, this is a song I would have sung to them then. So we'll sing it today and hope that it will continue to bless their experience. So welcome. We're glad to have you here this afternoon. Thank you for braving what looked like it was going to be bad weather, but it's not so bad. We're in Canada. This is great. So we're glad that you're here to spend this time this afternoon with Craig, Catherine, and Kathy. You'll get a chance to ask questions. You get a chance to rub shoulders or elbows, and we're just glad that you're here. So have your questions ready. Be excited about what's going to happen today, because all of us are racing with faith. Let us pray. Father, we thank you so much that you brought us here this afternoon, and we pray that you'll bless our time, that we will be encouraged, uplifted, and that we'll continue to strive to run this race that you have given to us to find that goal of eternal life. So bless our time now, we ask, in Jesus' name, amen. I'm a little late, so... within your heart, and if you make a start, he wants for you to know all of your needs he will supply. He's always standing by. He's there to show the way. So keep on climbing until you reach your goal. Just keep on striving with all your heart and soul. All things are possible with God, so don't give in. He'll move your mountains. He believes in your dreams. And as the road ahead seems long, by faith you can be strong. He's there to show the way. With every step you know just right, you conquer in his might. He'll show that brighter day. So keep on climbing until you reach your goal. Just keep on striving with all your heart and soul. All things are possible with God, so don't give in. He'll move your mountains until you reach your dream. Just keep on climbing until you reach your goal. Just keep on striving
And so it begins. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
That is amazing.
Right. Sitting down?
Yeah, let's sit down. Let's get comfortable. We're going to be here a little bit. Pastor Wendell, thank you for not only just that beautiful song, which I want to actually do a music video, because all I kept thinking about was all these challenges we had. Me climbing a Ferris wheel, counting goats, step dancing.
Anything is possible.
Exactly. But also, I want to give a special thank you. Yesterday was my grandma Phyllis, her celebration of life, and you did so much for my grandma and this community, and I just want to take a moment to thank you with the whole congregation for all you do. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to all the Riverside United Church community that has come together to make Racing with Faith possible. Margita, thank you for being here and sharing your talents. Lori, Irma, Luke, Malcolm, Nina, thank you for lighting the candles. All of you collectively have made, hi Kate, you made this dream of ours and this goal come true. And it's so exciting to start this sort of meet and greet that is hopefully going to inspire and motivate not just everyone here today, but we plan to take this on the road and then eventually come back and maybe we'll fine tune it and you'll give us some good feedback after today to be able to do that. So I want to thank the amazing, talented, courageous race partner, Catherine Reeford, for being here, and also our fellow faith racer, Kathy Hunter, for making the way here. And I'm going to just, let's see, I do have notes up here, so bear with me.
Lots of notes.
I want this to be really fun. This is going to be a really great opportunity to share the behind the scenes, things that went into us not just winning the race. That's great. I mean, the Silverado's in the parking lot. I don't know if you saw it. It's a great car, but there's so much more to this experience than just the win. The win for us was what we're sharing with all of you today, which is miracles. Miracles that really can't be explained, but also can be. And we want to share all of that. A little bit about me, just in case there is some people that don't know. I grew up in Harrow, and I went to Walkerville's WCCA program, numerous Windsor Light shows here in town. But of course, I'm Canadian. I was put on skates before I was able to walk. So I played hockey and danced, and I just love Essex County. And I'm so thrilled to now have a permanent home back here in Harrow. And my parents are even more thrilled for me to have my own place in Harrow, thanks to Sunbuilt Custom Homes. I went to Royal Winnipeg Ballet from the University of Windsor, and that's where I met Miss Catherine Reeford. And from there, did lots of Broadway shows, Fiddler on the Roof, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, to name a couple. And in 2010, I felt drawn to move to LA from New York. And I really wanted to share my passion for fitness and wellness for people. So instantly, upon arrival, I got a reality TV show on the network Bravo, which was called Thintervention, which was motivating people to move. And then Newlyweds the first year. And now, I love to introduce the really good stuff, what you've come for. As my grandma said many times, Craig, people know you. They're over you. They want to see Catherine Reeford and Kathy Hunter today. So, Catherine, will you share a little bit with everyone, the congregation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's where I live right now. Grew up dancing. That's all I ever wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be on Broadway. I just had never been there. I didn't know what it was, didn't know there were multiple shows going on at the same time. And I took a bus to New York overnight with a friend, and I called my mom, Colette, on a cell phone and said, "Mom, I'm home." So I ended up moving there, and we lived together in Toronto first. And then when I moved there, I was like, "Craig, we're moving into this apartment." He's like, no, I don't have work. I'm like, "I'll pay for it, and then you can get it, and then you'll get a job on Broadway, and we'll be fine." And I was right. We were fine. And I think
it's where the manifestations started.
Yep. This is where it kind of all started. And we just knew we trusted each other enough to put our faith in each other to bring us to this point. And so we danced on Broadway. I got engaged, moved to LA, and he was there in LA, and then, lots of stuff happened at that point. I had 2 kids, got married, and was diagnosed with brain cancer. So I moved back home to Winnipeg, and from there we applied for the race, and here we are.
Here we are. And before Kathy gets an opportunity to speak, which I'm really excited for, Luke, maybe we can play clip 1.
I'm Catherine, and this is Craig.
And we're performers!
Law. We met at the Royal Winnipeg Ballet School over 20 years ago.
And we've been besties ever since.
We had a determination that we were gonna get to Broadway.
And we did it.
And we did it.
It's a lot of work to be a performer. It is blood, sweat, and tears. In 2013, Catherine was complaining about having headaches.
I did a CT scan and found a lump that was bigger than my fist in my brain.
Catherine has terminal brain cancer.
I was given 2 to 6 years to live. I didn't know if I was going to make it. I did, and we're here. Going on my 9th year, so I always say I'm past my expiration date.
Even with terminal brain cancer, Catherine has more mental brain capability than I do, and that will become apparent. It's true.
Catherine.
And I think what would be great, before Kathy talks, can we run video number 2, Luke, please, so that we can introduce Team Julie and Kathy.
Hey, Canada, you are looking at the team with the most hearts.
Julie is in the Canada's Hall of Fame. She is an author, she's an artist, and then what everybody may not get to see is that she is so humble.
Kathy will drive the getaway car. She's an accomplice and an ally. A girl, a woman, a queen, a lady. Kathy is resilient.
When times get tough in the race, I think it's important to honor the encouraging words and the noise as much as it is the silence. Believing in one another and lifting each other up, even when you may not feel it, that's important.
So a farm girl and a ghetto girl on one team means ready to sacrifice. Life is a race. This is life. It is life. Rest if you must, but don't you quit.
Kathy, share more. Yes. Kathy Hunter.
My name is Kathy Hunter, and I don't have the Silverado in the parking lot. I don't know if you know the show, but there's one team that wins, and it was not us. But we won in so many other ways, and that's why I'm here today with Craig and Catherine. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, so this is always nice. It's like a small town, makes me miss my home. I live in Toronto now, and some of you may recognize my partner, Miss Julie Black. I know her as Julianne Gordon, but she is Canada's Queen of R&B. And so literally in this moment, I'm realizing I'm the only one that cannot sing out of the 4 of us. I just drew the right straw, I guess. So, we were on the race, and we actually got our leap of faith very early on. We were the first team eliminated, which takes a whole other kind of faith, and also the first team ever in the history of Amazing Race Canada and Amazing Race US to be brought back. So if that's not Jesus, I don't know what is, because they can't write that in. So really happy to be here and to share a little bit about my experience, but mostly just how we got to see Catherine and Craig's race through faith and have this awesome experience and meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I think it's great to share early on with this event the responsibility that Julie and Kathy had. When you get eliminated, you are still sequestered at a resort, right? Especially during COVID, they have to make sure everyone is safe. And Julie and Kathy were the greeters. they had the responsibility of shifting everyone's energy from, you can imagine the disappointment that each team would have and all of the trouble that would be in their head. And Julie and Kathy took them under their wing and utilized their faith and their skills with their faith to be able to bring comfort. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to go on a race to lose. That's just not the goal. So it is one of those things. It's not about where you place. It's what are you going to do with it? You know, nothing you go through will be wasted. So we wanted to make sure we were really pushing that through and realizing that, you know, it'll be 9 seasons, but 8 seasons, 20 teams. The math is small. Canada's huge. You know, we're chosen for this. And it's an honor to be eliminated and to still be standing. So yeah, it was great.
So I'm going to take off this sweater, and the reason is that we wore these exact sweaters on the race, and no matter how
See in our videos.
many times I've washed the pits, it still stinks.
Mine doesn't, so I'm good.
In fact, we dropped it along the way. It was useless to us. And I think like episode 8 or 9.
In the finale, they washed it really well and put it on your.
They gave it back, but we left it. Anything you don't take with us, and you see our bags go smaller, and then basically non-existent towards the end, because you just don't want any of that weight. And we dropped this in, I think, episode 7, maybe 8, because it stunk so bad. And the producers picked it up, washed it, and delivered it to me after the finale. It was so nice.
I was like, I don't know if we want that back.
I can't tell you how many times we even watched the finale again last night together for the first time since the actual airing of it. And we're just like, she said, you really stunk. It was torturous. But why Racing with Faith today? First off, we're here respecting all religions, all views, all feelings towards religion, spirituality. And although I identify as a Christian and part of this congregation, I want to really express our respect for all people with this. The universe aligned an experience for us unlike anything else that I've ever experienced in my whole life. I also want to acknowledge my friend Carly Cohen over here in the front. Carly's, quick stand up because people are going to meet you. She's been instrumental in planning things on our end and helping even yesterday with my grandma's ceremony of life.
And reminding us
celebration of life.
Reminding us gently what we need to do. Do you want to eat now? Oh, are we bringing this with us? Are we,
Yeah.
So she's been very kind and understanding.
Manager, yeah,
Manager.
of all life aspects. And she's going to help with the Q&A at the end, which is going to be exciting. All right, so competition. Listen, we really had a different view going into our audition, which took place in 2019, mind you, because we were delayed from the pandemic. Kathy, were you part of that original too?
Yeah, you and Julie.
Julie and I, December 2019.
And when we had ours, I think we were just in a different place too, because we talked about it and we're like, we want to win. Yeah. And our interview, I want to kind of ask Catherine, tell us a little story, tell us a little fun thing.
Well, they were asking us whether or not we wanted to be, what are they called?
Alternates.
Alternates. I said, no, we don't want to be alternates. We want to be in the show. Like, well, maybe we'll just like put you on a list to be no, we want to be in the show.
Actually,
What did I
specifically, it was, okay, guys, you have made it this far. There's 3 scenarios. A yes, which is the best. A no, which is obviously disappointing. But you know what? There's also a maybe. You could be an alternate team. And in the years past, we've had alternate teams win. There's a pause, and Catherine says, we're not your alternate team. We haven't been understudies and swings on stage for a long time. We are in the show. Don't bother even calling us to be an alternate team. And they were like, jaws dropped, but then you could see that they were salivating because they're like, that's the kind of competition we want. And then a question went to Catherine that said, Catherine, how is it going to be? Are you excited to make friends on the race? What did you say?
I said, no, we don't need friends. We just want to win.
She says, I have friends.
Great.
I have plenty of friends. We need to win Amazing Race Canada. Then the pandemic happened. And mind you, we were kind people and we knew what they wanted. They wanted that competition, but we actually did really, really want to win. Pandemic happened. And through this church, through the sermons that I was watching in California, it really helped me not only get through the pandemic, but through the pandemic with compassion. So Catherine and I talked about it, and heading back into this, like you just said, we were all universally aligned to be part of this for some reason. We didn't know specifically what it was, but it all unfolded the way it should have.
And I was around. I made it to 9.5 years. So I always, as you saw in my thing, past my expiration date. But it was one of those things that we didn't know that I would be here. So being grateful for that, and to be grateful just to be part of the show, and be grateful to be a part of this team. That was all the teams and the crew and and everybody in there made us feel very welcome and very part of the team. Yeah.
Did they film you, the producer, with a Zoom with telling you that you're back on?
Yeah.
Well, how did that feel? When they called us in 2022, the beginning of that year, to tell us the brace is on.
It was pretty incredible because you didn't even know if you were still racing.
Right.
I mean, they could have said, the show's canceled, we didn't get approved, it's funding. At the end of the day, it's TV. They have to, financially be able to do this. And then we had 2019, and then it was kind of like, we're definitely not racing. 2020, it would be really a slap in the face for Canada. When we're supposed to energize and inspire the nation, it would be really hard to put a show like this on traveling. And then when we got the news that we were coming back, we were like, holy sugar, because it was now January and literally, T-minus 2 months to get on this race. So then, like, physically, mentally, emotionally, even our careers, our jobs, it's like, hi, I'm gonna need about 5 weeks off. Everybody's okay with that? No one can call me. I can't tell anyone where I'm going. But we were so excited because at that point it was almost like a divine timing. It wasn't our choice, our race, our time. It's
Their time.
Yep. Our producer, when they Zoomed us to let us know that the race was going to happen, Catherine gave such a beautiful speech of gratitude that said, I want to thank you for letting us know before the pandemic. My family motivates me to live and be here, but this was a huge factor too of inspiration for me to get through. And I'm shocked that I am going to have this opportunity. And the producer had to take a moment. Jesse said, excuse me, and you could hear his sobs. And he came back and he goes, you guys are going to change Canada. It was beautiful.
Amen.
But our competitive edge, we still wanted to win, but then we saw the competition.
Oh my gosh. we thought we were in shape. Like we were strong, we're like confident.
We are.
We got there and I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's like fitness people, professional Olympians, professional football players. I was like, oh, I feel old.
Well, no, everyone's younger and skilled and smart, and we don't get to talk to each other. It's called hard ice, so we're not able to see everyone. But even like Julie and Kathy were praying harder than us at the meals and stuff.
Well, it's funny because you don't know anybody. So we're like, oh, Team Mondetta or Team Canada. Like you just start identifying people from what they're wearing because you can't talk. If it doesn't happen on TV, it doesn't count. So you're kept separate. And we looked around and we're like, okay, Amazing Race always kind of has like an older team. And we're like, it's us. So this is like the older teams of the race right here. Yeah. So I feel like, we have the same feeling. I'm like, is this the fitness edition?
That's what we thought too.
And we're like, because they always have a theme. And we're like, great. We are the older team on the fitness edition that didn't know it was the fitness edition. So this is going to be good.
Let's show them all. Luke, can you play video 3? All right.
Fitness.
Since that point forward, Catherine and I looked at each other and we said, let's switch gears. We're going for longevity. Her brain cancer story needs to be told. We prioritize so differently, right? When John announced what the prizes were, we were happy, but we were happy for someone else. And I think that's the first message that we have for you is all too often in society, it is so goal-focused on getting something, but we didn't care. We really didn't. All we wanted to do was have longevity and have an experience, and we knew the math, like you said. The likelihood of, at that point, a 1 in 10 chance, but we know we have 11 episodes and we have 4 to 8 challenges, unique challenges of mental, physical, emotional, eating, whatever it may be. The likelihood of winning was not good. What did you think? Did you think you were going to win? What was your mindset?
Yeah, I feel like you go in wanting to win. And then when we saw the Olympians, we quickly said, okay, so Jesus, if it's for us, then we can't miss it. So it could still be for us. But at that time, you're like, okay, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? If it's not winning that prize, we know that we're here for a reason, on purpose, for a purpose. And it was literally the same thing. Let's connect. Let's find out people's stories. Why are we here? Because we knew it was for a reason, but there were moments where yeah, I don't think it's for the trucks, Well, you have a different role to play. So yeah, very similar.
We were really inspired to meet Julie and Kathy, and again, we can't talk until you're on the race and you're mic'd up. So what you kind of saw but didn't see that we're going to share is when a couple of the teams were struggling with the very first challenge, Crack the Code, we had an opportunity to finally meet Julie and Kathy on the pier, and I think we had such brutal, there's no time to waste. My grandma, Phyllis, she didn't waste no time. She lovingly, brutally honest. So I had a conversation with Julie and Kathy. Kathy, do you remember that?
Yeah, at the Guru dock.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So you're running this race, you're in Mont Tremblant, and if anyone has not been there, it is a beautiful, steep incline covered in cobblestones, kind of a death trap for running with a 35-pound backpack, and you're running to find all these clues, and you've got a code that no one really knows how to get through at first, and at the end of all of that, your checkpoint, the first time we're going to get to actually speak to anyone other than the color of their jackets and the color of their backpacks is at that dock. So we run, we're exhausted, it's a panic, it's the first challenge. If you get through this, you're going to be okay. And we see Craig and Catherine and these giant hugs, tears. We're already crying. We haven't even shared a thing, and there is tears. It's like, what's your story? We're so drawn to you. There's something about you. And I feel like that's where that faith really kicks in. It's like, you don't know us by what we say, you know us by who's inside of us and who we are. And that moment, I feel like I'm going to cry now, but it was incredible. Incredible. And
yeah.
We shared passion for our loved ones too.
Yeah.
Like both Kathy and Julie's mom had died of cancer.
Their moms,
Yep.
yeah.
Their moms. And so they were connected by that, and then I have cancer, we connected over that. And
You were racing for your moms.
Racing
Yeah,
for your moms.
we had superpowers, we had angels watching over us the whole time.
We connected, and Kathy said to me, you have kind eyes. I said, well, I have close set eyes. And she goes, that too, but there's more to this. And I just broke down, and I said, we're here for Catherine. Catherine's story needs to be told. And I said, it's up to Catherine to tell what that is. But then I also said, and I need to be honest with you, I saw them praying with each meal, and I said, I want to address something early on. This is what I was saying about brutally honest. I said, as a gay man, I'm triggered by some Christians and some religions. And I said, I just want to get that out right now, because you have to make alliances and you have to decide who you're going to, want to work with and things like that.
Who you trust.
Who you trust. And I said, what is your view on this? Because I've been alienated, and my community has, by too many churches, too many religions, and I have baggage associated with this.
This is the dock. This is all on the dock. And it was a really easy answer for us. Like, you can't touch and you can't teach and you can't be with who you don't love first. So to have the opportunity to restore faith, which is really our only job. We only have one job, is to spread it. And for Craig to just be out and open with it, and to have those hurts and to have healing already happen on that journey was really powerful. to be connected and to be cheering from you from that moment on, regardless of the outcomes, really.
Yeah. It was so healing for me instantly. And then I realized the race is going to be a lot more than just the prizes.
Yeah.
Told Catherine that, and it was special. But we knew we were in a situation, the high pressure stress is so great. I actually don't want people to have to go through this, what we did. But we're satisfied with what it is because I want to share it, and hopefully you don't have to experience it for yourself. But the stakes are so high, and the producers do a great job with elevating those stakes. But Catherine and I knew that the longevity and what we wanted to share with her. So we had our special techniques of things that I certainly brought to the table and shared, and you were on board with. But every morning, what was our routine? What kind of things would we do in the room before we would start the day?
Well, I woke up really early and was pacing back and forth and drinking my coffee really loudly while Craig was meditating in the bed.
No, trying to meditate.
With his earplugs in and white noise on. No, we talked about our manifestations for the day, for that challenge, for basically for the day, and what do we want to accomplish.
And what we'd do is we'd sit in silence and we would ask for protection. And we'd ask for either spirit guides,
limbs.
Yeah, higher self and things. And what we wanted to do was be bigger than what this body is. We wanted to connect with people that have passed on. Where can we get our guidance and our direction from? And so we would do that, and we would energetically want to elevate each other and match our energy to go into this, because this is a relationship-driven show. It's a partnership. So we felt like we had to vibrate at the same energy, which I believe all of this falls into spirituality and into this church. What kind of routines did you do? Did you do any of those prior to?
Yeah. I think our routines were different from the beginning because we were eliminated. So I don't know if anyone in this room has had a delay or have to wait on a prayer, but imagine that's us. So everyone else, we've been through one episode and we're limited. We're out. We know what the world says, and the world says you're not getting back in because it's never happened before. But the belief of we're both really prayerful people, so like an intercessor level. So it's really important for us to keep that no matter how we're feeling. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway. You're not feeling like it, something's better than nothing. So we get up in the morning, we would pray, and we had at that time, no TVs, no alarm clocks, no music, no technology. I had a Casio, like a Timex Indiglo watch. So we would, and Julie's a singer. So she did what all singers do, and she sang. So whether it was It Is Well, whether it was Jesus Loves Me, like little hymns that were just over and over and over in the morning. And then we finally got a TV, and the first thing that came on was a newer worship song by Maverick City Music called Wait on You. And we both just broke down crying and kept that up. We're like, we're going to wait on you. We're going to wait on you. Have us here. So we prayed in the morning. Julie sings all the time. So that's a blessing. And then journaled at night and really put energy into our teammates, the people that we had met. So we're like praying for Catherine and Craig. If someone's on your heart, we're stop, dropping, and praying right then. And then we're journaled about it so that when we got the opportunity, which we eventually did, it wasn't us. It was definitely God. So it's not, we said yes in the moment, but we were assigned for sure.
Yeah, I want to talk about alliances. This was the most triggering thing in Amazing Race Canada history for the viewers.
I guess doesn't happen all that often. But
Catherine and I, why would alliances be part of our equation?
Well, because we've worked on Broadway. It's always in an ensemble. So as an ensemble, you need your teammate to help you, and you need to help your teammate, right? And all the teams, all the ensemble work together. So that's how we went into this.
How did we choose our alliance? So we're going to share really behind-the-scenes things with you that no one has had the opportunity to.
Turn off your phones. No recording.
So one of of course, Catherine's story is the main priority, but another one, being so far away from Canada for me, was I wanted to connect with Indigenous people, history, culture, land, etc. So much has happened recently over years that have sparked awareness and conversation, and immediately I was drawn to Court Larrabee. We must have a brothership. I don't know if it's a past life situation or whatnot, but immediately when we started that race, Catherine and I looked at them and we said, we're going to help you win this. And we put it into motion. We're like, you run in front of us, get to your bags first and all that. And then Team Fernella, what was interesting about them was my mind, not my heart, but my mind went to them. Because when we were standing in Mont Tremblant, how many people have seen the show? Do we have a lot of? Okay, awesome. Yay. So at the very beginning, the Mont Tremblant, when we're lined up, there is a map right off to the side. I put my dark sunglasses on and I'm right close to it, and with my close set eyes, I'm laser beam looking at it and memorizing it. Team Fernella looks over at me and they're like, move, like that. And so I go, okay, you can look too. Did you notice that there was the map sign right there?
No. That may or may not have fed into our outcome.
No one was noticing but Fernella. So then when we started the race, I was like, okay, we with Court and Allie, heart, and my mind. Because again, we haven't talked to anyone, right?
Didn't even know their names.
And what I did was I had a counter. Mom and Dad packed for the race well.
Yes.
And I had way too much stuff, but the counter that I had came in great handy. And I passed it off to them. And I said, here is a blessing, here's an offering. And they were like, huh? And that's when our teams work together. Now later on, it's tough for all of us racers to watch this show and see it unfold. And it's challenging, right? It's challenging for our hearts and all of this. And it was brought up where Julie said, oh, alliances and forming and all of that. But we were ready to work with you guys.
Yeah.
We didn't know that the outcome of episode 1 would have been that situation.
Dun, dun, dun. Yep.
And we were strategic because of me with fitness, I certainly didn't want to align. I didn't felt like we need to with any other fitness teams at all. Mm-hmm. But I felt like our faith would have been really strong in that. So anyway, full disclaimer, that was the situation.
I love that.
Kathy, what is a roadblock?
A roadblock, besides, it's exactly what it sounds like. So it is a challenge that only one person can do. So it's yours and yours alone, and you rip open a clue, and it's kind of a puzzle. It doesn't really tell you what it means. So the first one, when you're in Tremblant, you open it up, and it says, who's well-rounded?
I thought it was an eating challenge.
Julie said yes, full transparency, because she's like, I got a peach. I kind of got a booty. I'm going to do this. I know it's church, but shame the devil. Tell the truth. So
I was hungry.
She's like, I'll do it. I'm well-rounded. And you rip open a second slide, and it's like, proceed to the Ferris, the big wheel in Montreal. You will be climbing this. And Julie's like, ah! And then so you just have to blindly support your partner because you're out of it. You are now the cheerleader, the prayer warrior, the whatever role you want to take, but you're on the sidelines.
I was laughing because I know he's terrified of heights, and there was nothing I could do after he opened up the thing. I was like, I'm so sorry, Greg. I couldn't stop laughing.
Can we confirm this? Chuck Ramsey, my father, is in the third row. Put up your hand, Chuck Ramsey, please. Do I like climbing ladders, even one-story ladders?
No.
The answer is no.
No.
Roller coaster, I'm in and I'm secure and I know I can sue them or my family can sue them if something happens, fine. But climbing a ladder was terrifying. Mm-hmm. So when you have a roadblock, there's so much pressure, it's all on one person, right?
Yeah.
And Catherine and I, being musical theater, we would always have these songs in our head. We can't give voice to it because of the copyright laws and stuff, but that was really something that helped us get through. So before anything else, and before we get to the Ferris wheel climb, I'd like to sing this little ditty that was going through my head every time Catherine had a roadblock. And when Catherine watched me on the Ferris wheel, this is what I imagined she singing down below. Ready, Margita? Shall we do this? Let me get my music out. Let me make sure. Your notes are going to be, Craig, memorize your material, please. We're ready. Yeah. When you walk through a storm, keep your chin up high. And don't be afraid of the Ferris wheel. I'm going over here. I don't have it in order. Sorry. Talk, Mike's. At the end of the storm is a golden clue, and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Climb on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never climb alone. Catherine was not singing that. In fact, she was talking to other contestants and she missed my climb altogether.
No, I saw you coming down. I was like, I don't see him going up yet. He must be waiting. And I was cheering on Ali because Ali went before him, and I was like, well, there's 2 ladders. Maybe he went up the other. Then I see him climbing down like 3 steps at a time, and I was like, go Claire, go!
This is Catherine. I get down and she goes, you did it. I missed it, but you did it. Oh, bless. Okay.
Craig ran down so fast
he
because we
did.
were sitting there. He's like, did you see what I did? I just did that. Did you see it? And all the jazz hands and all the moves and all the things. It was honestly special.
I turned out my legs and
Yeah.
I was like, I have to make up time. So I reached down and I'm so flexible. So my knee,
Was like
each
up here
knee
by
was
his
up
head.
here. So I basically was doing the splits all the way down like Spider-Man
I
could.
saw that part, so that was.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Luke, what do you say? Let's play this so people have a visual.
Just climb up
The Ferris wheel.
the Ferris wheel. Are you kidding me? I'm already shaking. No. I probably already wet myself. Right?
Maybe not.
Why on earth did we think
I don't know.
that this was going to be okay and appropriate for me?
Well, because we didn't know what it was. That's really high.
I'm already scared from this height. No. The key to this challenge is to not die. Oh my God. This is nuts. I can do it for Kath. Here it is. Oh, thank God. Yeah! I overcame it.
Yeah. And I trusted. I had faith that everything would be fine. I also had faith so much in Catherine throughout our life that I had to do it for her. And you heard me chant that, do it for Kath, do it for Kath. Something about our relationship, it's 25 years long and beautiful and wonderful with lots of ups and downs and challenges along the way. But one thing that we can say, and you hopefully can relate with friends and family in your life, is what we do have that made a success for the race was when one of us feels confident in what we're doing. It's almost like we are tapping in and we're having guidance. It's almost like God does not want to split the ability because he knows we trust each other so much, so he gives it fully to one person. And for us, we reach a certain energy that we have to shut off. So regardless if we think we can help or ego, we surrender and we go, okay. The red hat lady, when we ran through Toronto, Catherine and I had a little bit of a disagreement at first.
It's like, follow me. They're going that way. We're going to go this way. And we found her immediately.
And she just said, you have to trust me. And I was like, I do. And then moments, it was 5 minutes that we found the lady with the red hat. And that challenge went on for most people for 2
hours.
to 2.5 hours. Also, I want to talk now. I want to talk about what that looked like with what it could be deemed one of the hardest challenges to do, for numerous reasons that you didn't even see, is the goat counting challenge.
Oh my gosh.
Episode 2.
Yeah. So 3?
2.
Oh, okay.
So it's a detour. You can pick two things, right? We
Make
chose.
owl sounds or count goats.
Do you want to explain the goat challenge?
Sure. The goat challenge. There were 11 goats, and there was many different, like 100 goats, and 11 of them had a yellow handkerchief and numbers written on the back that you couldn't even really see. And then all the other goats had different colors of handkerchiefs on them and they were all mixed up. There was like a place for them to hide, and you had to go find them, and you had to count them. We didn't know how many there were, and some of them had the same numbers on them, and they looked exactly the same. And you're not allowed to write anything down. You're not even allowed to write it in the dirt. And you had to add up like 37
It wasn't
plus
dirt.
42.
It was actually goat poop.
Yeah. I'm trying not to say that too loudly. But so we were trying to do this. I was like, we were like writing on our hands. We're like, you can't do that.
Well, we could just show them. Let's show them. Luke, let's do video 5.
So 72.
Plus 29. That's 99.
You'd like a check? 249.
That's not the correct answer.
Thank you.
72 plus 29 is 99. Plus 31 plus 78 plus 41 is 249. The math is right.
Let's do our math again.
So 72 plus 29.
99.
72. 82. 92. 101. 251.
Congratulations,
Oh, mother! Our math sucks.
So that is where God gives the talent solely to one person. Because you can see my face. I'm like, huh? And I just am in a state somewhere else. Like if I smoked, that's when I would have just lit up and had a smoke break. I looked at Catherine and I went to go help her at one point, and what happened?
Go away.
No.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I got this. And that was my sign. You got it. You go. And I just let her do it. And you see my confusion at the end. Because we're going to show other clips of how this works, where you fully put your trust in another person, which is a beautiful thing.
It was like, well, maybe we need to. I'm like, no, shut up. I've got it. And we went and got it right.
So moving on to episode 3, which is a special one for us. What they didn't show actually was that we went from last place to ultimately winning. And before the final challenge, which was the aerobics challenge. You remember the aerobics challenge? That one, we were heading to the fish fly one in last place. We did not know where we fell in the lineup heading into the aerobics, but we certainly weren't at the top. We were at the very bottom of that one. And I want to share with you guys what an expert fail is. Actually, Catherine, explain expert fail.
Expert fail is when you have something that's totally in your wheelhouse and you fail at it, basically. So being an aerobics instructor for Craig, failing an aerobics class would be like, and coming in last or being eliminated from that would have been an epic fail.
Yeah, and the producers actually count on expert fails happening. It happens almost 100% of the time on all the Amazing Race franchise. Why? Because you get overly confident and then you think, oh, I got this. And the learning period you shorten and you make small, simple mistakes, plus all the pressure of it being in your wheelhouse can sometimes get too much. But this is where I asked the universe, I asked God, and I said, I've worked hard for 20 plus years at this. I overlapped my Broadway with my love of fitness and passion for it and doing this type of work. Let this be an opportunity where I don't lose sight in what I worked on and what my skill sets are. So off to the side, and mind you, I was only there. Kathy, take a wild guess of actually time frame wise from start to changing my clothes back to leave. How long do you think we were there?
Interesting. That's always the tricky part, because on TV they make everything look either super quick or super long. 20 minutes.
So I said 20 minutes too, and that, to me it felt like a long time.
9 minutes. It's a 3 minute.
There were people there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
There's a 3 minute routine. What you see is 47 seconds. It was 3 minutes long, that routine.
Wow.
And so what I did was I went off to the side after helping Allie a little bit, and I went off to the side and I just surrendered and I asked that and I said, please let me just be able to everything, all the skill sets for Catherine. And so I did it off to the side, and I went through the whole thing with my eyes closed. I opened up my eyes, immediately found Catherine in the audience, and this is what she did. And my shock, but also my faith, just was like, that worked. And I couldn't think of anything else. I said, I'm ready. and that's when we had success.
Yeah.
And it was, and let's see, what else do I have? Oh.
Driving to the golf course, I was like, I think we're in first. I think we're in first. Let's go. I think we're in first. I know exactly where we're going. We have to go straight, and then we go left, and we go there, and then we're there.
Yeah.
And we did it.
And I think, too, that's where we realized the formula of don't worry about the prize. Like, even then, we didn't, you see our shock. Marshalls, I love Marshalls. What, we get something?
Yeah.
It was just wanting to have longevity. And each leg that we had to be able to have more opportunity to share Catherine's inspiring story, we were just absolutely thrilled with.
Just don't come in last.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I chose the roadblock too, because I think it's funnier to see a 200-pound man in 80s aerobics gear.
Well, I mean, that's where's the lie? Like I think the other cool part that you didn't mention, Craig, is a piece of that was, one, you had to do the activity, but two, the crowd had to be in it and supporting you. And if there's a superpower of Craig and Catherine, it's that crowd engagement. And I thought that was really cool because there was other fitness people, a lot of fitness people in that same space, but they didn't get a pass because the crowd was like, yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, because that's a big deal.
It actually, I think, helped me memorize the choreography because there was a need and a desire to help others and get other people to do it with you.
Yep.
So then it helped me explain it, and explaining it to others helped me. So I guess the message is, have the mindset of wanting to connect with people and helping people.
Exactly.
Let's run it, shall we? Video 6, Luke?
Can I do it?
Craig's a performer, so he's gonna crush it.
I feel like Craig is gonna nail it this time.
2, 3, 4. Punch it out. 2, 3, 4. How about some kicks? But not too high, because here they go. High. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Hop, 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 hop. Take it to the side. Clap. Let's spin. 1, 2, 4.
Fantastic job! That was awesome! Drive yourselves to Fernie Golf Course and search on foot for John at the 4th hole in your next pit stop.
I tend to speak really quickly, so they kept having to say slow down and read it again. I was like, no, we gotta go.
So, Luke, can you run our photo?
Oh.
If you can. Because then...
Oh. Nope.
We'll get to it.
Yep.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a hint. Shortly thereafter, COVID. I don't know if we have it with the masks on, with the mountain in the back. It's okay if we don't.
Right.
We're good. Okay, we're fine. So then, shortly thereafter, we had the most intense race challenge ever in history, getting COVID. And it was me, not Catherine, that got it. And there was only one person of one other team that got it at that point as well. For me, it was devastating because I saw the look on Catherine's face and everything was being taken away and ripped away because of me. Well, I mean, at the time we thought...
It wasn't because of you. It was the universe putting us through a test.
But I really wish at the moment Catherine had that full faith, and she didn't.
I was like, yeah, we're gonna be out.
And it was devastating. It was devastating to watch her go through that, and all we could do and share with each other to support each other was, there's a reason. There's a universal alignment for this challenge to happen to us. Whether it be that this is our end, we have to be okay with it. And or whatever the universe has for us, we have to accept this.
You got me there eventually.
When we got back to we were sequestered to our own separate rooms, and we had a phone in our rooms.
So we could call each other.
So we were able to connect, and that's when it was back and forth, just back and forth.
He was in the room next to me, so sometimes I would just knock on the wall.
Or sometimes her feet,
My feet
would
would
hit
hit
because
the
she'd do
wall.
handstands galore. And I could hear her pacing back and forth. So I could hear and sense her stress. So we meditated together and we connected and we trusted what the universe would have for us. And then I have to say, it brought us incredible comfort to know that Julie and Kathy, because we were told, we didn't know if we were going to come back, but they were going to replace us.
Yeah.
And to go from first to then all of a sudden knocked off the show, it was so tough. But when they said, Julie and Kathy are going to replace you, we were like, it's meant to
Yeah.
be. How did you feel? What was your
Yeah.
experience like with all of that?
That's always the bittersweet part. You know, we were told in training when we got kind of on the show that this is a risk. You have to be very careful. If you get COVID, you might be eliminated permanently. And then for us, it's also been weeks and weeks. Like, so now this is episode 3, 4. Like, we're just kind of traveling along. So you're with the band, but you're not. You're kind of in the back. You know, you're by yourself. And I've never wanted to be supervised so badly because now you're just kind of forgotten. And so we're in the room, and we hear we get a knock on the door, and production comes with their mask and says, like, "Can you get some clothes on that are racing clothes and meet John on the mat?" And we're like, Julie's knees buckled, like just buckled, because we had no piece that we were supposed to be off permanently. However, the very thought we're coming back on meant someone else was off. So in that same moment, we're like, oh, please not Catherine and Craig, especially not Catherine. Because even though they said Catherine and Craig, they don't tell you who's not well. They don't even tell you could be asymptomatic, but if you're testing positive, you're still off. So it was surreal. It was tearful for sure. And then a huge amount of joy, because the same faith that made us comfortable in the wait was the same faith that made us comfortable and trust that we're being brought back. And the same faith that we didn't feel Craig and Catherine's journey was over either. So it was like 1,000 emotions at the exact same time. Yeah.
Catherine became also COVID positive like a day or day and a half later. And
But then we got to be back together again.
yeah, and then they're like, I put the COVID kids together. But before that happened, Court and Allie, remember me talking about our connection with Court, we were able to get a message through them, and I got on a phone call with Court. Again, we're thinking we're eliminated, and I said to him, we have an idea. I would like you and Catherine to continue the race together. So if we can pitch to that, how awesome would it be for people that just met but have this spiritual connection to then venture into the race together? So if it were going to work out in any way, that was a plausible option that they were
They were thinking about it.
contemplating.
Cool. Then I got COVID.
Then she got COVID.
Didn't work out.
So never before has a team ever had to go from first place, and you always benefit, right, to basically bottom of the pack to have to fight your way back. But we're so grateful for the opportunity to have a chance to come back 2 episodes later. Then we were focused on, again, like what this would look like and how we could still be good faith racers with this journey. It was very unfortunate how it was presented to us. It was a huge challenge. We didn't know what it was going to look like at all. And moments before we had the opportunity to come back onto the race, Dennis and Darrell and Court, with Allie's off to the side and her nodding her head, they came to me and said, this is probably 30 seconds before we go back on, we decided if it comes down to it, Catherine is running this race. We are going to forfeit our place. And I was like, well, Catherine wouldn't want that. Let's go out there, let's just race and do our thing. Now, there's a lot, and within our cast, there's a lot of controversy with this situation, because Court and Allie certainly helped guide us to get that clue to get back on the race. And I think where we respect Dennis and Darrell immensely is that they are torn with this situation. They had made a pact that when it comes down to it, it would be their choice to allow us to be back on.
It wasn't their choice.
It was taken out of their hands. So it was a miscommunication probably from all parties in that. So they're terribly upset, and we get it. And I pray for them. I wish them well, but we recognize how the disconnect. What are your thoughts, Kathy?
Yeah, it's a TV show, right? So you get these kind of rules with an asterisk beside it. and they do their best to play them. But we were originally told if someone gets COVID, you're out. Like you're out. You are off the race. You are out. You are not coming back in. And then when they were thinking of bringing them back in, then it was still there was always this we didn't realize how hard it must have been for production too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's easy to feel just in your feelings in the moment, but it's just not a nice situation. You have these people that are racing, that are on the show, that everyone's racing for a reason, a person, a place, a goal, and it was hard to watch that and hear about it, and then actually see it aired, because you're waiting, you've been eliminated, and you come back, and I'm sure you'll show the clip, but it's not really a grand way to re-enter.
No.
Let's show the clip. Luke, video 7.
Maybe everyone here wishes you well.
We gotta tell Catherine. Okay. Let's just, come on.
We want to tell them.
I know. Come on, Kath. The one at the water bucket. Inside the water bucket.
Pull 10. Pull 10.
Kath, let's go, Abby. Let's go.
Have you got something for me?
I think we do.
You're back in the race. You can rejoin the group.
Thank you, John.
Congratulations.
Oh, baby.
This is not a water park.
That is right there. There's a bucket in the...
Oh, okay.
Catherine, I got it.
Okay.
They looked and so...
Okay, so what they didn't show is that actually...
He went the wrong way.
I went the wrong
That's not
way.
where they came from. They came from this way.
I took Catherine on a wild goose chase, and Dennis and Darrell were circling that well for a good 5 minutes. And they were right there, and they
reached in, I think, and they didn't.
They couldn't find it. I had to reach my arm in this long to get that clue. It was pushed, I think, when Allie went and got it. So, I mean, again, the universe aligning whatever was meant to be, we do trust that. And we also trust other people. How beautiful was it that they were willing to sacrifice and suffer repercussions, even from producers, to help us along? We recognize all of that, and we pass that along. Like, who cares? It's just a race. It's just a prize. It's just a truck. There was so much more to this with trusting
nice
other people.
It's a nice truck.
It's a really nice truck, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Kathy. I want to share something before the race. I check in with a universal consciousness expert, Caroline Corey, who's a good friend of mine. And I had a reading before this journey, and she said, you're about to embark on a show. It's a TV film show, but there's more to it. It's some kind of competition. She got it. And she said...
We didn't tell her about the race.
Nothing about the race. And she said, but here's what I'm tapping into. Here's what your goals, this is what you need to focus on. Both you and Catherine are so close with your parents that you share a lot of the same energy. And you have to have a chat with your parents to make sure that you shift their energy and have them realize that this race is just as much about them and their headspace than it is about yours.
Oh.
And they said their insecurities, their hesitation, their issues, or their worry about you can get in the way of you achieving your goals. You have to have a chat with them. So I did. I taught, and I'm saying this because we're going to get to this, and I'm going to get a little interview with Lenore and Chuck, an impromptu one. But I asked them, I said, I need you to look at this as if it's your competition and your baggage could get in the way. Think of the win, feel the longevity of what this is. And that was their goal. And I say this because I don't see, there's no reason why we can't, in this room here, talk to our loved ones and share what we need from them. Yeah.
Well, my parents are so supportive of me, especially since my diagnosis. So every time I'm going to, even if I went on stage and fell on my face, my parents would be like, oh, that was so good. That was amazing how you fell on your face. You made it look so real. So they've always been so super supportive of me. So I don't really need to tell them how to think, how to believe. So they always thought I would win, right? Mm-hmm. My mom and dad always thought I would win. And when they found out, we're like, well, I knew you would win. I was like, but you didn't know. I didn't know, you know? So it was one of those things that they had faith in me, and I have to accept that.
Well, luckily, I wish that we could interview your parents too, but Chuck and Lenore are going to be surprised at the end. But I also want to mention something that Catherine might not even know. I don't know if I even told her this, but we got back on for episode 6, and it was a long terribly tough day. From the very bottom of the pack with a lot of obstacles to then we were on top because I listened to Catherine and trusted Catherine. She found a woman with the red cap and got our train ticket on train number 1 the next day. And we had a lot of security because it was with our alliance. Catherine, this was the only hotel room that was really, truly nice that we stayed at. Intercontinental.
We missed that one. Yeah, we were back off again. So
sorry, Silverado and now this. The hotel was just was splendidly beautiful. And when we got in there, Catherine was in the shower. There was a phone in our room again. This never happens, right? And I think it had to do with probably COVID protocol, that because we had recovered from protocol, the phone was there in case we need it. She was in the shower. I called my parents. You cannot do this on the race at all.
You can't even call each other. Like, you can't call anyone.
No.
No.
I called and I collect, and then Mom answered and I said, I can only talk for about 20 seconds. We're fine. We recovered from COVID. We're good, because they knew that we had COVID. They were told. We recovered from COVID. We started episode 6. It was very tough. We were on top. We're in a good place for episode 7. Please tell Brandon happy anniversary for me. He never answers his phone. I'm calling you. And please tell Catherine's family that we're fine. And you will not hear from me again, hopefully, until May 22nd, which I knew was the finale date. I said, if you do hear from me, we will be eliminated. If not, I need all of your energy, all of your, if you can, good wishes to be present in that those days, especially May 22nd. Click.
I got out of the shower. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I didn't know that. Thanks.
But what you did know is our most glorious moment on the race, which we've never shared with anyone because we didn't know if we were allowed to. But now we're going to share it with all of you. When we got the ticket really quickly in 5 minutes, we knew we had some time to kill there. And so what Catherine and I did, we're grown-ass adults, and we enjoy, Phyllis Ramsey? Well, her grandson enjoys a glass of wine as well.
And so do I.
So what we did was, with our crew, we're like, okay, our next Amazing Race challenge is we have to find a bottle of really nice red. So we asked strangers on the street, we're on the Amazing Race Canada, we need to find an LCBO, please. So we were running through the streets, we had leg money, we bought 2 bottles of wine.
One for us and one for Court and Alley.
And one to gift to Court and Alley. So we went back to the hotel, we hid them, right? And we had them. And we got to our room. We only had a good maybe 4.5 hours to enjoy this hotel room. Catherine and I cracked open the bottle of wine. We opened up our window, and we had the most beautiful view of the CN Tower. And we held hands, drank our wine, and we reminisced about good times, old times.
Because that's the city where we sort of first felt like adults. That was the city
we lived together.
We lived together there in this tiny 29.5 Granby Street. But it was a special memory for us and all the silly things we did when we were younger, and we continue to do today.
And Court and Alley, we were able to converse with them afterwards and find out they were in their room and they enjoyed the room as well. And they were like, you know what? If only we had some wine to share. Wine delivery.
Oh, I love that.
God is good.
Yeah. First miracle.
Yeah, right? Wines.
So some legs are multiple days, especially with traveling. You don't see a lot of that. And let's just say it's exhausting. We checked in at the Gatineau Museum for episode 8 late at night. And oftentimes, you don't see this. We have a little bit of sleep and then we return back to that place. So we knew we were going to be at the museum. And in my sleep that night, when I woke up, I was like, stamps. The challenge is going to be something with stamps.
We looked up all of what the different exhibits that were there, and one of them was stamps.
Potentially be. Stamps was there, but I was sure that it was going to be something with stamps. I didn't know exactly what it was, but it was just in my head. And all I kept thinking of was my brother's really amazing but boring stamp collection. And so, sure enough, that first episode was stamps, the challenge. But what was beautiful for us, too, was that we weren't focused on winning the stamps, we were distracted because Marika, and I want to address this because I think we all need to have some sensitivity to this. Marika was really torn. She was in tears. She was there. We had a production hold for 30 minutes, and we went and comforted her. And she had a lot of issues with going into that museum. That with her and her indigenous culture and history, those artifacts were taken from them. So now she was faced with, I have to go in there. My grandmother asked me, please never go in a museum like this and taught me this. And now I might have a challenge that's about my history. It's told by the white man. So that was something we comforted her, we held her, and luckily my dream and my connection was correct that it was stamps. Okay, let's see. Sorry about my notes. Yeah. So every morning we're interviewed. The producer says, what would you like from the day? This particular day, Catherine, what was your answer? Do you remember?
Be up high and see everything.
Yeah, in fact, I remember the exact details, and Camille, producer, was interviewing us. She said, what do you want from today? And Catherine says, what I want from this day, what I want from this whole experience is to feel the wind in my hair and be up high, and because I know way too soon, that's where I'm going to be in heaven looking down, taking care of my kids. And I want to experience what it's like to be in human form, and that's exactly what she said. Camille broke down in tears.
Of course.
We had a roadblock. Catherine chooses it, and it's make your way to the airport and pilot a 1930s biplane and feel the wind in your hair.
Yeah.
It was amazing. You just are up there, and the wind is just blowing in your hair. And as soon as I found that letter, I just started singing a song, and like just being part of the air and looking down and imagining my kids down there and what they would be doing, and it's really powerful.
I don't want to sugarcoat things. When we're off the race and we're behind the scenes, Catherine and I cried. We cried terribly.
We also cried for you. Yeah, it's emotional.
It is.
Yes.
Our conversations were unique. They were about what does Catherine want for her kids? How can I help? What is her wish list for her kids, knowing that she won't be here? And we had to go through a lot.
She may or may not be here.
May
I'm
or
going
may
to
not
correct
be
you
here.
because
Absolutely,
do not know.
100%.
Don't know.
All right. We also had good times and laughs. Let me just tell you. I can't tell you how many times when we were in the hotel, Catherine would look over. She'd be talking for minutes, like 3 or 5 minutes, and just for the bit's sake, she'd look over.
Doing this. Then I would laugh so hard. I was like crying laughing because I was talking. I was like, and then, oh, Craig, he would start laughing too. That was funny.
Race rules. You have to be 20 feet from each other at all times, right? Even with your crew, you have to be 20 feet from your crew. There's very few times where you're separated. Even with roadblocks, there's very few opportunities. This was one that we had with Catherine going up into the biplane. And I would love to play that, Luke, if we can, video 8.
Hey, I'm in the front seat of an airplane. Gee, here I go.
Live your best life, Catherine. Go get him. Yeah, she said she wanted to soar in the skies. She's getting her wish. I'm so emotional because we're on this race so Catherine can live her best life. It's so special to have the chance to see Catherine enjoy the time she has.
Being high up in the air and looking down, I imagine my family.
But I want to show my kids that even with brain cancer, there's a whole heck of a lot I can do.
Mom and Dad, before the race, before I landed in Toronto for training camp, and my phone was going to be taken away, what was the last conversation that I had with you? Do you remember? You're not helping things.
Yeah, perfect.
I called you on the plane and I said, I've been looking at the map. I said, just in case we go there. You don't remember?
To
Or he turned off my
New
phone.
Brunswick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said
that you'll be in New Brunswick.
Grandpa's brothers and sisters. Name them.
Name them. That's right.
I need
Yeah.
to know Grandpa's brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and I need to know exactly where he lived and where I've been in New Brunswick.
Yeah. And
I said goodbye.
Goodbye, yes.
And you didn't hear from me until,
and it
episode
was like,
6.
I'm trying to think of everybody, and because I knew you only had seconds, it's goodbye.
So, thank you, Wendell, for
Thank you.
handing that over. Mom, we're going to work on that for next time, okay? So you can be really sharp and on it.
You'd be
Okay,
brief.
yeah. To her defense.
Yeah, all right, fine.
I recognize the time, so we are going to speed through this, but this is so important. So before episode 9, we were in Ontario at the time, and
Did not know where we were going next.
you never know where you're going.
never do,
And
yeah.
I had a dream, and I woke up and I told Catherine, I had a beautiful dream. My grandfather came to me, and he said his brothers and sisters on the other side and him are going to be guiding us and are going to be with us for this challenge. Isn't that amazing? Oh gosh, I hope we go to the East Coast. Rip open the clue. Make your way to Bathurst, about 20 minutes
Yeah.
from where my grandfather and Miramichi grew up and lived.
And we won that leg.
Hey, we still weren't on that leg. No, just joking. But the specificity is so cool, right? It's
So
not
let's
just
talk
these-
about Catherine's career, okay? Actually, let's not talk about it. Let's hear from her. Catherine, 42nd Street.
Oh, okay. Sure. This was my very first musical on Broadway that I did. Jeez.
In the heart of little old New York, you'll find a thoroughfare. It's the part of little old New York that runs into Times Square, where we lived.
Yeah.
A crazy quilt that Wall Street Jack built. If you've got a little time to spare, I'd like to take you there. Come and meet those dancing feet on the avenue. I'm taking you to 42nd Street. Hear the beat of dancing feet. It's the song I love, the melody of 42nd Street. Little nifties from the 50s, innocent and sweet. Sexy ladies from the 80s who are indiscreet. They're side by side, they're glorified. Where the underworld can meet the elite. 42nd Street.
Amazing. Thank you, Margita. Thank you, Catherine. What a treat. So Catherine was in the Tony Award-winning revival of 42nd Street on Broadway, and she played Peggy Sawyer on the road. And wow, roadblock. Who wants to step up? Catherine chooses it. It's tap dancing.
And all of 42nd Street, you're wearing tap shoes, so I was used to it. So.
But can Catherine overcome what obstacle she has from her treatment with brain cancer? She has no short-term memory. It's very limited and challenging.
So I knew all the steps. So they teach it to you in 4. You watch somebody doing the steps and you have to repeat it. So I had written down like the very first step of every, there were 4 things, and I wrote down the steps, and I got up and I had my little paper, and I was like ready to go, and they're like, you put your paper away. I'm like, I need it. Can I have it? They're like, no, it has to be in your pocket. I said, they said, you can't perform with holding a paper. And I said, yes, I can. And they said, no, if you have your paper out, you won't pass. And I was like, okay. Let's go. And then we started, and I got to the second one. I was like, I don't remember what the next one is. 1 second. But I came up really quickly because there was no line. So like everybody else was learning it, and I was like, I kept asking, I was like, Craig, is there somebody here? No. So I would go, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again. And I think maybe on the 10th time I got it, but there was nobody waiting in line. So if there was somebody waiting in line, I would have to go to the back of the line and then wait my turn. But because I came up so quickly, I knew that I could just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And the poor people behind me were like trying to play it quickly enough.
We can show them too.
Oh, we can.
We
Oh,
can. Luke,
show them.
can you please show video 9?
Memory challenges are very difficult for me. When I had my surgery, the portion of my brain they took out had all my short-term memory in it. It might be a little bit of a challenge, but I think I can get through it faster than any of the other teams.
Catherine was the lead in 42nd Street, the most popular tap musical in Broadway history. As long as her mind can connect with her feet, she'll be fine.
I'm gonna go and do it. Whoa, this is stressful.
No. I wish I could have this paper. My memory's shot. Step, da, 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 ball chain. Heel, heel.
Congratulations! Oh, thank goodness!
You got it! You did it! I am so proud of Catherine for completing this challenge so quickly. She is a champion.
On the race, yes. Worth applause. On the race, you're not allowed to take any of these things, and we did.
We all did.
We all did. Everything should be taken away, and you shouldn't have. You want to have a memory, and you also want to pass on stuff as your legacy. And ladies and gentlemen, I recovered Catherine's notes to give to her daughter. These are the little notes that saved us and helped us win that leg. Okay, episode 10, ultimately the most important episode, determines if you get in the finale or not. We'll talk about deep dive challenge, but let's play the clip first. Luke, video 10, please.
This water is so cold.
Come on, go, Craig.
I'm freezing. It's entering into my body from every single place.
Okay, you can do it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Quick clip, but it gets the point across. I'm terrified. I actually have very severe fears of shipwrecks. Probably past life stuff or whatever it is. And I had to do this part. I had to go in, and you had to jog a mile to get there. And I was out of breath and freezing, and I actually started freezing and panicking, and I hyperventilated in there.
It could have been either one of us, but there was no wetsuit to fit me. And I think that might have been on purpose, or it was meant for him to go into the water.
Well, it was meant to be, because this is what unfolded, and we're going to share something so special with all of you. Two things that really secure my faith in being able to connect with people outside of this language. I was in there, I was panicking, I was ready to come out and just be done, and Catherine connected with me. All of a sudden, I felt and heard her voice, and we started speaking telepathically to each other. She told me exactly where the clue was. And I look over at the dock, and she's like this. And she was able to signal and pass on information and calm me down. I collected my breathing, and everything that she had said, we confirmed afterwards that we were talking telepathically. We also, along the race, we jotted down notes, and we compared afterwards, because there were times where we were on the race and when we were in our hotel room, and we felt Julie and Kathy praying for us.
Yeah.
Kathy,
Yeah.
talk about this, because we confirmed
did
all
the
of this.
same thing. So we were like, you know what? Again, it's not about us; it's about saying yes. So when we were praying, their names would just drop on our hearts, and we were admittingly bored in the hotel room also. So we didn't really have to stop what we were doing, but the intention had to be there. So we would be like, you know what? It's 3:07. Catherine and Craig's on my heart. They just came on my heart too. So then we would get together and we would pray specifically into their challenge, into their capability, into their memories. And then we journaled. And then when we saw them, we're like, oh my gosh, tell us everything. Where were you guys yesterday? Where were you guys yesterday afternoon? And then they would almost be like, what do you mean where we were doing this? It was we felt your prayers at the same time.
We wrote it down.
Yeah, so did we. Yeah.
We felt it. We connected.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we need to be on a race and be in those stressful situations to connect and do this. I think we all have the ability. We just have to find the calmness and the trust in what that looks like. We did it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's snooker? I don't know. I've never played snooker. I've played pool. They didn't ask me that.
I don't play pool, so.
We want to play video 11 and 12, Luke, please.
Looks like we're playing Catherine and Craig.
I've never played, so this should be interesting.
There's lots of points on the table still. We just got to sink a few of these.
Yeah.
Can't touch any other ball.
I can't.
Just touch the yellow. Good job.
I did it!
You
I
did
it!
3-0. You got this, Jesse. 15-15. Tie game. Next ball wins. That ball doesn't count. Gets placed back and free shot.
I just lost the game for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, Craig, that was amazing.
Yeah, I played pool.
Wow. That's okay. Wow. Okay.
To see Marika be upset over that loss, I don't want to see anyone suffer.
No. And after that, we like hugged her, and they were like, "You gotta go, you gotta go." I'm like, "No, we're hugging her."
Yeah, that was more important to us. But also, I want to show that because even a producer afterwards told us that everyone was shocked, and it was like something stepped in to be able to have Catherine's story move forward. Even Jesse and Marika, Jesse's like, I have no explanation for how that white ball went into that side pocket. He knows how to shoot pool. I mean, so do I, but still, that is divine intervention. So this, I told you the importance of this finale and how we connected with people. Catherine and I got lost every time we went to A and B. It was terrible. We were getting lost getting to the final pit stop. And in fact, Catherine said, turn into the golf course. And I kept going. I was like, no, it can't be. I don't see the lighthouse. So we kept going. We kept going. While eliminated teams are not with us, they still have producers with them. And there was a producer that was with Court and Allie and giving them the play-by-play of where we were. They're like, your friends are going to make it. You can agree to this?
We were in BCE Place in Vancouver, so where the BC Lions play, and we've been in there since 5 p.m. This is almost borderline on almost what?
This is episode 10.
Oh, episode 10. Yeah, well, that's the producers. They have a tracker, so everyone's face is like, oh no, okay, it's Catherine Craig. No, shh. Everyone's talking, but you're not supposed to talk. So we're all sitting there like little kind of people on the sidelines with our one handler with the keys to the city, peeking over his shoulder, seeing who's who, and we were all cheering. Court and Allie had a direct line, though, to Hamish's phone.
Well, episode 10, when we were off track, she said, the producer said, they're going to make it, they're going to be second. Then they're like, wait a minute, they didn't make the turn, they keep going. Why are they 2 kilometers away? Oh no, there's 2 teams right behind them. They're now not going to make it. So this is what Court did, and this is what we confirmed afterwards. Court went internal, grabbed Allie's hand, and asked the producer to be quiet. He went in and started chanting some indigenous prayer, and he sent us a message. He said, send Craig a message. We're driving along. There was some rancid, like,
smelled like a skunk.
Animal, but a dead animal that smelled. And I literally stopped and I said, it's a sign. Turn around. And we went back.
I've been telling him to turn around the whole time. It's like, it's a sign, we need to turn. I was like, wow.
So when we finished, and Court and Allie and I were, and Catherine were talking about what we had been through, they said there was that moment where he went internal and he goes, did you feel anything? And I said, did I feel something? I gave word to it and said, this is a sign for us to turn around. And Court connected with us. Beautiful experience. Okay, finale. We made it.
Woo!
As Kathy said,
good.
that they're being kept updated, but not with specifics. Connecting to Source, praying, surrendering. This challenge seems so much for Catherine and I. I have ADD. She has brain cancer. How are we ever going to be able to figure this out?
Yep.
Surrendering, asking for help. Everything that we did along the way, please let our skill sets come back and be with us. Allowing another player to completely take over. Let's play video 13, the video or the riddle challenge clip.
Now let's calm down.
Okay.
One other team here, Team Fernella.
Okay.
Yep. Slide foretold twists and turns. Jeez, this is hard.
Keeping your legs throughout the race is a very good thing. You have your eyes on the case.
Case. I have no idea.
Now I'm confused.
We're all here. I know.
He's taken the race. And this is the Montebello mystery.
Okay, Ottawa was in the morning, the stamps. The key word is case. I'm thinking it's the murder mystery in Montebello.
There has been a crime.
They're no chef.
Le chef.
But there's also the word lick. Already found one, 3.
Yeah?
Get your eyes in the case. Eyes. You've taken your legs throughout the race. It's a good thing you kept legs. This is the stamps. Check, please. Check, please.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, no.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You remember my brother's boring stamp collection? Do you remember what came to me that night and why I was like, that didn't help me at the time? We're like, we're second last. We're like second last out of that stamp challenge. Why was stamp so important? That moment was divine help. Kathy, when you were at the stadium, what were your guys' thoughts? Who did you think was going to burst through?
So that's the thing everyone's asking. So they try to film as much content as possible so that if the wheels do fall off when the people finally come in, they still have stuff to show all of you. So we were clapping. Clap as if you just see someone coming through that you wanted to win. Now clap if you see someone that you don't want to win coming through. And they're like, sad face, happy face. I really had that Broadway energy. You know, we were like, yeah, no, low clap. And then, so then they interview you. So we have production and they're, you know, Julie and Kathy, who do you think's going to win? Craig and Catherine. Julie and Kathy, who do you think's great? Like every single time. We were just like, and you can watch it back and everyone's like, well, I don't know. And we're like, we know who's coming through. And it was so specific, like we couldn't even, and we were crying, we're like, I feel it. She's like, I feel it too. So at this point, we'd been there from 5 p.m. It was 12:30 at night. So they had been racing for hours and hours, but we knew that they were coming through. So we just clapped every time as if it was them. And then we got to see ya.
We didn't know we were going to win. We did not think we were going to win. We were guided to this win by help, by connection, by prayer, by faith.
Sure.
There were so many factors that did that. In fact, we're going to watch that finale clip here, but even while you're traveling from the Riddle Challenge, when we got that to the stadium, there are clues along the way. Make your way to gate A and find door 50 and 51, the glass doors. There are 120 doors, only 50 and 51 are open. My first door, you'll watch, opens up. Let's roll the clip. Video, last one.
Oh my gosh, Catherine!
Did we do this?
We did it!
No, did we?
We did it! But our friends! Oh my God!
Is this for real?
Are you ready for this?
Yes, please!
You have won the Amazing Race Canada.
I love you so much.
Kathy, explain what that was like.
It's so surreal. Like you think about it and you're praying for it, and then when you see Catherine
We love you, Craig, but it was really Catherine.
It was. Thank you for confirming this. I say this
Yeah.
all the time. It's
Yeah.
Catherine's win. It is.
Yeah. It was just that ability to know that by winning, that story gets shared. And by winning, that her children get to see that. And by winning, Faith wins. Because we knew we weren't alone the whole time. And to see that, and to see people that weren't necessarily outwardly cheering for Catherine and Craig or had another favorite, because that's a real thing. It's a race. We're all in it. They were like, this was the right thing. This was the right thing. Like, even if you weren't for them in that moment, it maybe took 5 minutes for the whole energy to change. The crew was losing it. What you don't see there's like 100 people dressed in all black for some reason, all over the place. Everyone's cheering like we're the only people in this giant stadium, and that thing felt full. And that was because of our faith. I truly believe that, and it was so special. It's emotional now because every time you watch it, you're just like, yes, one for the good guys. You know, like it was the right thing.
And even Marika, when she came in second, she said if there was anybody that I would have wanted to win except for us, it would have been Catherine.
Yeah.
Because they felt that story needed to be told.
Catherine had to learn how to talk again after her surgery, and it was a long recovery back. And it was only a few short years after that she was so brave to put herself forward, and she played Cassie in A Chorus Line, one of the hardest performing roles in Broadway history. So she went back, and here someone with a short-term memory had to write things in the wings and rehearse things right immediately before. And a special treat today, which I asked her to sing a little bit from Music in the Mirror, because this is in the lyrics, pay close attention, give me the chance to come through. And that's what producers did, Kathy and Julie did, and my parents with their energy, all of you. Apparently, my grandma did know that I won, by the way, and yesterday at her celebration of life, how many people came up to me and said, your grandma told me? Shame on you. Catherine.
Okay, here I go. I gotta find my music first. I don't have it memorized still. Yeah, okay, here we go. Give me somebody to dance for. Give me somebody. Let's start again.
Yeah.
My first note. Give me. Okay, ready? Here we go. Give me somebody to dance for. Give me somebody to show. Let me wake up in the morning to find I have somewhere exciting to go. To have something that I can believe in, to have someone to be. Use me, choose me, God, I'm a dancer. A dancer dances. Give me somebody to dance with. Give me a place to fit in. Help me return to the world of the living by showing me how to begin. Play me the music. Give me the chance to come through. All I ever needed was the music and the mirror and the chance to dance for you. Give me the job and you instantly get me involved. If you give me a job, then the rest of this crap will get solved. Put me to work and you'd think that by now I'm allowed. I'll do you proud. Throw me a rope to grab onto. Help me to prove that I'm strong. Give me the chance to look forward to saying, hey, listen, they're playing my song. Play me the music. Give me the chance to come through. All I
ever needed was the music and the mirror and the chance to dance for you.
Amazing. Love you. Beautiful. And Margita, thank you for expertly playing that. And I apologize for throwing that on you 3 days in advance. Only Margita, ladies and gentlemen, would be able to do all of that. Okay, so we are going to go downstairs, which is going to be a treat, and for more meet and greet and such. And what I would love to do too is listen. All of this costs money. To the lights, all the help that we have. We have a basket at the back, and if you can donate, that would be fantastic. All of it will go towards Riverside United Church, and it would be much appreciated. But before we go downstairs, I'd love if you have any questions, a Q&A. Carly Cohen will come around with the mic, and then I think Carly, if you can go directly to my parents, I would love to ask them a question to start it off. Which is,
yes?
You knew that you wouldn't hear from me
Yes.
until May 22nd.
Correct.
And you didn't hear from me. What were you guys doing and what were you thinking?
We were sleeping at the time.
What I was doing all along, like when you called me and told me what Caroline had said, that we needed to like shift and just be positive, I thought to myself, why do you think you need to tell me that? I've done it your whole life. I have always known, I knew in high school that somehow I knew Russell would be like in Texas. I put it out there and it happens. It's I don't know, it's just the power of thought and prayer, and you, any rate, I knew that you were going to win. Like, there was no question. Like you said, Caroline said that you have to be positive and always think that of course, I know you're going to win. So, and the night you called me, I knew you had told me it was around May 22nd. So I had the phone. We were in Grand Rapids. And I had the phone right beside the bed because I was waiting for the phone call, but I was asleep. And you called, and what startled me was the way you said it. You said, "Mom, I've only got a second. I can't talk really loud, but we won." And I said, "Yeah, like, I've been waiting for you to call and tell me. Why do you sound so confused?" Like, I couldn't get beyond the way you said it because you were like astounded. We won. Yeah? Okay. I knew that. I've been waiting for you to call.
My sister said,
yeah. Do you have anything to add?
Well, after he told us he won, we went back to sleep. It was 3 in the morning.
It was 5. It was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Still
yeah.
went back to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sending out good thoughts and being on the same page.
And you know what else I did while you were gone?
What?
We got the newspaper for Grandma, or you did, for Christmas, and we were too cheap to get one. So every day I would get her newspaper when she was done with it, because she read it at 7. And I immediately went and cut out your stars out of the newspaper to see what you were doing that day. And someday I will show them to you and see if you can figure out if that's what happened.
Wow. Love that. Thank you.
We also knew that Craig with Catherine, they were going to win.
Yeah.
After COVID, it was, it was a downer, but we somehow knew that.
But it never got me down. I knew the two of you would come back somehow. Like, I did. I knew it. I just knew it. Somehow this is going to work out. Yep, it'll be fine.
Please.
Any questions that anyone wants to ask while we're up here before we go down?
Yeah. I think so.
Exactly.
I don't really have a question, but I've watched all the races, the Canadian and the American ones, and I truly just want to say how impressed I was with the whole production, that everybody got along so well. There was no infighting, there was no nastiness, and I really appreciated that.
But relatively speaking, on most of those shows, like for our season,
Yeah.
But there were still some, but they're good editors.
Even when there was such compassion involved that we were all on the same page to protect each other throughout the race. So thank you for that, because it does resonate with us. That was how we did it.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such an inspirational presentation. It really touched me, so thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, I guess you auditioned to be on the Amazing Race Canada. So what sort of things did you have to do, and how do they mark you?
What we did is we filmed a video of us in Winnipeg in his hotel room. And we cut it down to 3 minutes and sent it in, and then we did a live audition.
Numerous phone calls. I mean, endless vetting. They're very particular on who they allow.
Psychological testing and a bunch of stuff. But I think the piece that matters the most is like literally what is for you can't miss you. And you don't know what that cast looks like. So if you or anyone else wants to apply, do that and trust that. Some people had applied, 5, 6, 7 times. We only applied once. We only applied, so there's no math to it and you're not marked, but it's a casting. So if they have enough husbands and wives, maybe they're looking for a sibling. And maybe you could be that sibling. If they have enough, somebody from the west of Canada, maybe they need somebody from the East Coast. Good for you. I think you should. It's, you never know.
There were 3 sets of siblings and then us, but I felt like we were closer than siblings are because we never keep anything from each other. And you don't tell your sister or brother everything, right? So we felt really close and bonded for that.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yep.
Oh, please.
Folks, just want to know what your lives look like now post appearing on the show.
Good question.
Well, I can't walk anywhere in Winnipeg without anybody stopping me and asking me for a photo, and I love to do that, and I love to talk to little kids about it too. But I've been doing a lot of motivational speaking and educating and working on a project that Craig and I are working on right now. A little bit secret for now, but really.
Kathy?
For me, we didn't go as far, so you're not necessarily as recognizable. But Julie, most people know Julie. So it's funny when I look, I feel like I look nice, like I've tried extra hard. No one recognizes me. When I look I just came out of the gym. Someone's like, "You were on the race," and I was like, "Oh no." So I'm like, okay, I'm getting the picture. But it does help as a conversation starter. Even as a ministry, as your only job is to connect with people. So it's another really cool point of connection. And then to have Catherine and Craig and so many of other racing friends as family now, because you can't relive that race, and you've been through it together. So it's a really special connection.
Yeah, also something just amongst us is that there's a show called W5. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but W5 is featuring a whole special on Catherine and her overcoming the impossible, and about our race and all that went into her success, including her vulnerability with allowing this friendship to assist her in again, overcoming the impossible. And you can stay tuned for that towards the end of February. Yeah, but we're not allowed to share that right now, but I just did.
We have a tiny human question.
Yes. Oh, let's get the mic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, did she do a drawing or something?
What do you want to say? I would like to give something to you too.
Oh, that would
wow.
be amazing. Come.
Oh my.
Yes. Look at your beautiful dress.
Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. Wow, look at the talent.
Want to take a picture? Take a picture with them.
Let's get a photo. Here, we'll come down here. We'll sit on each side of you. Here, come in the center. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Okay,
Oh
let's
my
take a
goodness.
picture, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. That's amazing. Wow.
Oh my gosh, did you hear?
Zoom in. There we go.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's so
Look
cute.
at how sweet.
I don't know.
Wow.
Did you hear the cheering now? That's my sister. So cute.
Oh, that's a future race team right there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
girls are next.
Yeah, scissors. Sisters. Sisters. I'm tired too. Anyone else? Anyone else have questions? Aunt Kathy.
Kathy?
And another one over there too.
Well, I know when you were out with COVID, but it was 2 episodes. But how many days were you actually out of the race?
I think it was 10 days. 10.
It was from the 1st to the 11th. I remember that exactly. So the 1st to the 11th. I'm not real phones. They were supposed to go north, and that's why there was such a long distance of time in between. So they were supposed to go north with the
Northwest Territories.
And Yukon. They had different rules at that time. Still, they thought they would be gone at that point.
COVID regulations.
COVID
Yep.
regulations, so that they weren't allowed to go up there. So there were plans to go and do all these things up there. So they had to fix their timing. So that was really one of the only reasons we were allowed back on, because we were able to recover and test negatively before we were back on, and we only missed 2 episodes. So it had been like the other episodes, there was 6, 7, 8, 9 almost in less than a week. So you never know what's going to happen.
They messed up time frames for sure.
Time frames for sure, and because they had to take 3 days to get there and then 3 days to get back. So it was good.
Do you have
Yes, I just had a comment. As a retired secondary school teacher, I have listened to the word, I can't, I'm sick. Catherine, we know we can do it.
Okay.
We have done it.
Amen.
Somehow or other, I would like you to find the youth groups that you can talk to and let them know you can, but if you try
Yeah.
and try again.
That's what I do with a lot of emotional speaking to like youth groups and even adults that are going through cancer. I did a couple of those speeches.
Not just cancer.
Not just cancer, disabilities and
Yeah.
insecurities and
Single moms.
yeah.
Before we head downstairs, can I put Pastor Wendell on call right now? I'd love your thoughts. You hear what we're talking about. You hear our faith journey. What do you make of it?
Well, it's a good thing we have 2 hours. When I did a sermon not too long ago about the Amazing Race Heaven, remember that? First time you were here, I believe.
It was brilliant.
We talked about the fact that this race, your race, can only be run by 2 in a team. But each of us have the joy of winning the race to heaven. So persist. Don't let anything hold you back from that ability to trust God, to follow God, and find salvation in Him. Because all of this means nothing. Your Silverado won't do very good in heaven. No. All of this means nothing if we lose out on eternity. So make sure you keep running that race as well. But I loved what I've heard. It is very encouraging what you've shared, your experiences. But again, none of this really matters if we lose out on heaven. So thank you for sharing all that you've shared. Okay.
Thank you. All right, shall we go down for some dessert? Let's do it. Thank you all. See you downstairs.